Well, that's what Chesapeake has done. They're making hundreds of millions of dollars. They're going to convert that into billions of dollars, and yet they will walk away from the state not really caring what happens as a result of what they've done. I guess the thing that concerns me most about all of this is we're looking at short term and arguing about 7%, when in fact that's not going to cover much of anything except ongoing damage right now. I wish our state would take the long-term look and see what is really happening and what's going to happen to this state once these people vacate the premises, because they will. We've got to hope that the gas supplies last. I hope that ExxonMobil comes in here and does what they've done in most instances, and that is make a big investment, something that pays out over a long period of time, and slow down the takes from these wells, because the way Southwestern and Chesapeake have been pulling the wells. I'm assuring you the gas play won't play that long, and Judgment Day will come that much sooner, that we're left holding the bag for all the damage they've caused and very little to show for it. So with that in mind, I filed again today to go back for the 7%. Some of the rumor mill started out at the Capitol was that I'd backed off because that it was rejected by the Attorney General. That was real light type stuff. I couldn't believe that was even said. I was called and told that on a couple of occasions. I never had any intention of doing anything but getting it in formal order again in a final form to present to the Attorney General, and that's what I did. I always consider it a better option when you let outsiders pay the taxes that should be paid. Ours hits the outsiders. The large companies that are making all the profit here in Arkansas are the ones that will pay the severance tax. The Speaker of the House's plan, Robert, I think, is trying to attack it because he knows there needs to be a program. I personally don't think that the people will vote in a 1.5 cent sales tax and tax themselves when you've got this going around out there where we're not even taxing these out-of-state companies. My opinion is that ours is far superior because the large interstate companies that are making the money off of the drilling in Arkansas will be the ones paying. If we go the 1/2 cent sales tax, you and I and every other Arkansan will pay, and I don't think that this has a chance on earth of passing the people of Arkansas. I'm not even sure it'll get through the legislature. I do think that because of the power of Robert Moore that he can probably get it through the House in a close vote. My bet is in the Senate it will get killed. I don't think people feel that people are ready to pay taxes right now, additional taxes, 1/2 cent, just because of damage to the roads and because you need a road program. The first step would be to make the ones causing the damage pay, and the second step would be to look at all options before you take a vote to the people. I think that they've got a problem with the 5 cent diesel tax. That's part of the package that's supposed to be put out to the people for a vote. And I understand and feel that there's probably a legal issue of whether the legislature can pass their obligation to pass taxes on to the people. In other words, this may be one of those type taxes that in fact the legislature will have to deal with and either pass it or not pass it. If it goes to the people, I suspect that it would fail like the 1/2 cent sales tax. But I truly believe that the 1/2 cent sales tax is DOA. I think it's dead on arrival, whether it happens there at the House or the Senate or happens with the people in 2012. I think I'm stressing two things. The most important is the environmental impact, because we'll all have to live with it, and future generations of Arkansans will have to live with it. There's been some new things come out. I think the magnitude of the earthquakes and the numbers, we have to start getting concerned. But this thing up at the lake, Greers Ferry Lake, bothers me greatly. I could not imagine them doing that. Where was the Game and Fish in telling us what was happening? There were our representatives. They were up there building the docks. It doesn't make sense. They built $42,000 worth of docks so that Chesapeake could go out there and do this seismic work. I'll say this is one of the weaknesses of losing Scott Henderson. Scott would have leveled with us and told the people why they were proposing to do it. There's no reasonable explanation. The only one I can think of is that I don't think the entire commission ever ruled on it. My guess is, and it's strictly a guess, is that the Oil and Gas Committee of that commission made the ruling and told the commission to proceed, because let me tell you, they didn't have the authority to do it without at least the nodding of a head from a commission. It so happens that that Oil and Gas Commission is made up of Craig Campbell, Eamon Mahoney, and Rick Watkins. Eamon Mahoney worked in the natural gas business for the Stevenses for 20 years, and Craig Campbell is married to Stevens, and one of their major sources of income in a given year, every year, is natural gas production. I felt there was conflict of interest when he named himself and those other two to that committee, and I think we're seeing it played out here. I don't think it ever would have happened had I been on the commission, had you had Scott Henderson there, had you had anybody serving in a watchdog capacity, at least we would have made it public. Now, I think they'd argue today, well, we had to keep it confidential. From whom? I mean, Chesapeake was going to try to do it. Were they keeping it confidential so people couldn't rise up and stop it? That's what I think. I think that they didn't want anybody knowing. I think they traveled under the cover of darkness and got this done to the point they got the approval. And remember, this has been in effect since last October. So, I mean, what happened during all that time until you had a reporter get interested, nobody even knew what they were doing up there.